Welcome, everybody, to Advantage in Paradise. We're very happy to have you here today on a lovely Monday evening. We're about, a week away from Halloween, but we're still going to be a little bit spoopy tonight, I think. I've got my pumpkin. You'll see Clayton has his pumpkin, and Shannon got fully dressed up. So, as always, our audio sounds. The soundtrack comes from Soundstripe, where we license all of our music, and our ambiance comes from Sirenscape. And now I'll turn it over to Shannon for some social media shout-outs and to showcase her lovely cosplay of
Yes, of
Miss
my robe.
Scarlet.
Miss Scarlet. Yes, thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy almost Halloween. We are so excited to play our spoopy episode tonight, and it's going to be so much fun. Definitely not scared at all. But I just want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. Nope, partners. God damn it, partners. partners.
You'll get it one day.
One day, you know what? I just need to write it on the top of my sheet here. Partners. I'd like to give a shout out to all of our partners. First, we have Arcane Spectacles, the creator of beautiful spell trackers and other tabletop accessories. They have launched new products in partnership with Eddie York, our character artist, as well as mix and match dice vaults with tons of new colors. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out because oh my goodness, the colors are gorgeous. And if you would like to buy anything, use the code Paradice for 10% off any item. Paradice in their Etsy shop. Next, we have Talon and Claw, the creator of gorgeous wooden tabletop accessories like DM screens, dice vaults, dice, etc. A lot of us have our very own Talon and Claw dice, and we use them quite often, and they roll very well. So go get one, and when you go get one, use the code Paradise in your on your order to get 10% off. Next, we have the Underground Oracle Publishing. They are the creators of incredible D&D 5e supplements. Cal uses Prongs of the Black in our campaign, and we cannot wait to incorporate more. Make sure you sign up for their Patreon and join their Discord. They have a great community over there on their Discord. And last but not least, we have Eddie York, our original character artist for Paradice. He drew all of our lovely heroes that you saw on our screen, and he is the Scarlet's art from him is the inspiration for all of this. So thank you, Eddie, for that. And that's it. Let's get spoopy.
All right. Thank you very much, Shannon. Without further ado, let's jump right in. By jump right in, I mean 30 seconds to play a song. That's too happy.
That's way too happy.
All right. Chapter 55. Last we met, the Wayward Five took up refuge in an old abandoned hamlet, east of the Helwendale River and on the road towards Caer Dolan, the capital of Oxlin and of the Quintarchy itself. They had made a narrow escape from the Highland Syndicate brutes in the Revival lumber town in Sverwold. This band of brutes was led by a green-scaled dragonborn who nearly killed Rocky, Embla's stablehand, before leaving. As you escaped, you decided to As you escaped and made your way through the southern reaches of Taramran, over the ford, and into Oxlin. The next day, you decided to rest early for the evening as you made your way south towards the road, to give yourself a break from the incessant road ahead. You rested in this old abandoned hamlet, collapsed longhouses. It seemed like there were 3 structures here that at one point housed farmers and laborers and other sorts of folk. You quickly made yourselves busy. Embla began cleaning the interior of the longhouse and began cooking a hero's feast. Cal found the perfect old beams, sturdy enough to begin Robert's footwork training. Wiswick found a space to study his notes, discovering that the spell he'd previously thought was a transmutation teleportation spell was truly a conjuration spell within this book written by what you presume to be a follower of the Wayward One from back in during the Morasir conflict. Curon contemplated the visions Ilyvania blessed him with the previous day, and Timber found a calming place to attempt to meditate in order to focus on those small drops of serenity he was able to muster where he previously could muster entire peaceful scenes. Later, you all assembled at the request of Embla to share in a meal in which she used some of her finest ingredients she could bring with her from Oranshire. She asked each of you for a story. The Wayward Five are shy, if not closed off, in these sorts of moments. So she shared a story of her own, of being on a ship long ago as a young girl, seeing for the first time beyond the Telomere Sea surrounding the bright shores onto the endless oceans on the east coasts of Gwenfalier, the sapphire waves that made up the entire horizon. This did inspire a story shared by Wiswick of the glittering darkness beneath the earth where vast lakes exist, with countless bioluminescent creatures glittering in the halls, and even blind cave dragons. Though the stories were brief, dinner was enjoyed by all, ending with a lovely small portion of lemon cakes. Evening's events contained 2 moments of note. Cal sparring with Embla, and Curon communicating with Valen about General Kinsley. Cal and Embla clashed out in the middle of this small hamlet, flats of their blades smacking at each other, Wiswick cheering on, having made bets on the winner. In the process of this, you discovered Embla had some strange skills that tapped into what she only called the songs sung by the blade. A curious discovery for a traveling daughter of a smith. In reaching out to Valen, Curon discovered that the general and his captains were moving southward towards Unturis to settle a conflict in the northern vales near Tisaka. Something that Cal found curious and concerning. From there, they would turn northward to eastern Tressex and back to Gristram. You also learned that your friend from Maginset, McClear, had set off on his own with a band of villagers out of Driftmarch to find their own prosperity in the future. After these events, you all found your rest with this new information, now perhaps eager for the road to Caer Dolan and what lay between. A long journey still awaited you. The next morning, you each prepared for the day's journey, including a meditation session with Timber and Cal that included Scarlet this time. Scarlet found a certain peace in remembering the meditation that Timber had given her during her darkest moment. Cal, ever the disciplined soldier, found that not quite serenity, but stoicism in his meditation. While Timber focused on that droplet of serenity coming from his center, his spirit, his discipline, and focused on it until it flowed like a continuous slow stream, eventually leading to a vision of himself split into 3 forms: light, shadow, and in between. The vision was short, but more than he's seen of his discipline in days. Not since losing his wife in Taramroth. You continued through the countryside for about 3 days, seeing a few farmers and small hamlets with old longhouses along the way. Much more civilization than on the countryside of Sverwold or Maginset. This place is lived in and breathes. Until you've reached a somewhat rocky and wooded area, a bit off the road, or on the road but a bit off ways from civilization. The path was tight and slow, but you only stopped once. You spotted smoke above the trees. Some of you scouted ahead, where you discovered the aftermath of a small armed conflict between highwaymen and travelers. But there were also blue and gold flames lapping across the ruined wagon that seemed to have fallen into this small valley. Shortly afterwards, a form landed in the woods ahead of you, and a large elder copper wyvern crawled out from the woods, collapsing down from the cliffside onto the wagon, shattering it beneath its heavy feet as it began feasting on the dead. You began moving the carts and horses the best you could, closer, but as long as this creature lay in your way, there was no way forward that you could currently see. Scarlet and Wiswick are ahead, hiding behind a small rock, pushed up against the cliffside as this creature doesn't seem to be going away. It seems to be making itself quite at home amongst this rich source of food. So much so as to lay down beside the corpses and breathe out smoking fumes after it had devoured one whole. This is where we left off. You are approaching, unsure of what to do next. The beast has not been triggered yet. It has not seen you yet, but it is completely in the way of your passage through to the crossroad. Wayward 5, what would you like to do?
Well, I suppose that's our decision made for us.
I don't know about that. Wiswick's rearing up a spell.
So Wiswick and Scarlet are ahead. The rest of you are about, you're around the bend of the cliffside. So you're coming up around it. You are probably still about, I'd say 150 feet or so down the road. Slowly approaching kind of, I mean, Kieran came back from scouting ahead. He knows that there is a wyvern up ahead. So you all in the back are the ones who need to decide what you're doing, as the other two are up ahead and have their own decision to make.
Well, I don't remember who it was, but I think it was Cal came back and he put like clothes on.
Oh, yes.
I had begun muffling our horse's feet, but then the
Yes.
thing flew out, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess we'll just."
Yeah, you began that was when you knew that the beast was in the woods ahead. So you started to muffle your horse's feet to try to slowly make your way through to avoid it. But now that it's in the actual crevice of the cliff sides, that plan is not exactly going to work.
Right. All right. Q, you wanted us to fight this thing. Let's just do it then.
Sure. I think that would be best. Eliminate any threats for future travelers.
Robert and Rocky, I suppose. I know you're still a little bit shook up. Get the horses and the things off the road, at least so it's in cover.
Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll bring him back a little ways. Just come back, I guess.
If we don't, just keep going to Caer Dolan. You have enough gold in my bag to set up like an inn or something. Go ahead.
Okay. Are you leaving your bag with him with all your gold?
Yeah.
So he just has. He's like, oh.
I guess I assumed I didn't keep my whole pack on me at all times if we have like a horse and a wagon. It's like in my saddlebags and shit, you know?
Just for my notes.
Right.
In case you get carried off, I guess, by this wyvern. All right.
I will say Kieran is staying on Rocco.
You did mention that last time. I actually think last time you guys were going to just start going ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
We decided because we can't guarantee how long it's going to be there or if it decides to come spot us, so we might as well just bring the heat.
All right, so we have Timber and Cal moving forward on foot, Kieran behind them on Rocco.
Yes.
Rocco, sorry. Rocco. Scarlet and Wiswick, they're still, a little ways away. What are you doing?
Wiswick, what are you doing?
I think Wiswick's channeling a large spell, but it takes like a couple of seconds. And as he's like doing it, he looks to Scarlet like with a stern face, like, "You ready to do this?"
Are we? No? Are we attacking it? What about the others? Should we wait for them?
I'd like to, but I don't think we have much choice. The best I can do is hold it off for a while.
We don't want to wait and just see if it goes away?
We have the initiative now, Scarlet. I mean, if I'm gonna do something, it's now. Like, it's not that far away.
Yeah, how long does it take us to get to them?
It's not going to take you that long. It's literally going to take
Vigilance
you
blessing on me.
Yeah, it's gonna take you like a minute at most to get down the road. Alex, you can activate the battle cam so folks can see what they're approaching.
Sure.
So I guess I'm gonna ready a
And
spell.
for Wiswick and Scarlet's reference.
Oh my gosh.
So Wiswick and Scarlet, you can see the battle cam.
1 second. I have to fix something. Don't explain
No
it
problem.
just yet.
No problem. I'm just pointing it out to Scarlet and Wiswick where they are. So you can see Scarlet, you're right here, and Wiswick, you're right behind her. So you're on the left-hand side of the road. As you can see, the road splits in two ways up ahead. It's kind of curved. So like behind you is a curve leading back to where the carts are, where Cal and Curon and Timber are approaching. It's actually probably going to take you guys maybe like 2 minutes to get there, but you'll be there quite soon. So it's take that information for what it is. Wiswick and Scarlet, once again, what are you doing at this point?
I'm just readying a spell to cast Polymorph, and the trigger is essentially I'm waiting for the last minute before it notices us. So I've just got I'm like in a ready position as soon as it like turns the corner where we're standing, or if it like yells out a big scream or something like that. Anything that makes it seem like it's about to jump into battle.
All right, then I'll describe its behavior, Wiswick.
Okay.
For the time leading up to when Scarlet, you would be able to see Cal and Curon, maybe. Cal, Curon, and Timber, are you all planning on stealthing? Or just
I imagine Cal would have told us, yeah, there's a dragon up ahead, so I think we're stealthing. All I'm saying.
I think I'm valuing speed over stealth, to be honest. Like, I'll try to, I wouldn't just be like, look at me in the middle of the road. But like...
Okay. So stealthing, but
matters.
in a sense.
Yeah.
More so like
thought
staying
is-
closer to the wall of the cliff than it is like,
Cover.
Yes.
Staying in
yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like following that line, and the moment we break and we're in front of it, just charging.
All right, then I'll need the three of you to give me stealth checks.
Ooh, hello. 25.
Nice. Cal,
11.
not as nice.
13.
It's pretty nice for Stefan.
That is pretty good.
Yeah,
for Stefan.
that's disadvantage too.
Wow.
Okay. So, Curon, Stefan, and Timber, you are slowly... I said Stefan, sorry. Curon, Cal, and Timber.
I'm there.
Cal, who's this? Sorry.
Oh, hey
You
guys.
see literally Stefan as Curon...
What did you do with Curon?
Suddenly, Curon's in a hotel in New Hampshire. Okay. So, as the three of you approach, you kind of lean yourselves based on following Cal, knowing what's ahead. You lean against the left cliff side of this tight road between the cliffs, and you start to slowly make your way. Wiswick and Scarlet, you are hiding behind this rock. Wiswick, you're looking up every now and then dropping your head down. Scarlet, you're right behind him doing similar, but also looking back for your allies. Wiswick, all you're seeing for the next minute or so is the creature is playing with its food. As you see, it's sort of ripped the arm off of one of the bodies, or not the arm, the leg, and it's kind of chewing on that leg like a dog chews on a bone, or a cat plays with a cat toy. It's just sort of like tilting its head back and like gnawing on it at the back of it, the ridges of its snout, and just every now and then blowing flames over it that just start to slowly cook around it, burn off the clothes, and it just sort of is mostly breaking open the bones to get to the marrow, as you see that forked snake tongue kind of just wrapping around the bones every now and then as it just shakes its head and kind of resumes its place lying down. You don't see anything triggering your polymorph yet during this time. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and the spell dissipates, having no trigger. Give me an Arcana check real quick. To see if you can keep the spell before it notices Curon and Timber, or Curon and Cal.
I'm hoping that a 13 plus 11 for 24 is enough.
Okay. I will allow you to kind of snatch that magical power back as you hear behind you, and Scarlet, you're the first one to hear it, then Wiswick hears it next, as you just hear Timber is quiet as night. He even in his like devil may care, just like I don't care what happens to me, devil may cry. He's still a professional about sneaking around. But you watch as Curon kind of is walking behind him, and Cal suddenly kind of stops abruptly at the corner to look around to see, and Curon, you just bump into him behind him.
Not Rocco.
Oh, you're on Rocco. That's right. Oh God. All right, then you do bump into him, but Cal, you kind of are like pushed by Rocco a little bit. You're trying to stealth with Rocco, so that already is kind of hard. So like you're kind of keep this like hidden against the wall vibe, but it's you don't pull Rocco back in time, and he kind of just bumps into Cal. And Cal, you don't like fall over or anything silly like that. You just simply step forward, catch yourself, and there's just this loud clanging of your swords because there's so many of them, and it just sort of bounces just quietly. It's not the loudest sound, but there's not much to absorb it as it bounces off the cliff walls. As Scarlet, you hear. I keep calling. My instincts are to call everyone Stefan for some reason. Scarlet,
That's a little weird, buddy.
You first hear this clinging, and you immediately know it's some. Your companions are coming up behind you, and then Wiswick, you hear it. You quickly turn. You kind of pull the spell back in, and you do see the wyvern turns its head up and starts to growl, looking towards the path.
Do I see the wyvern see me?
Yes. Just very briefly. Like, it's that sort of Jurassic Park moment where you come around the corner and the raptor looks at you, and then you're like...
Can I cast polymorph now?
I think I would have done
the kitchen scene. If you want to do something, Cal, you can as well.
Oh yeah, I would. If I saw it see me, like, and I knew it saw me, I would just be like, just
I figured, yeah. I will allow you to throw off the polymorph before initiative starts, Wiswick.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 4th level's polymorph.
Okay.
Burning my last 3rd level spell slot to alchemical cast to increase the DC by 2.
Last?
So what is the DC then?
The DC is an 18 intelligence saving throw. As I pull a spectral image of a frog out of my head and throw it at him, and it goes right in between his forehead.
So, this sucks that you changed it to int for me, because it got a natural 20, but it has a -3 to intelligence.
Amazing.
Bringing it down below your DC.
Oh my god.
Which thankfully you didn't. You alchemical casted it, or else it would have just beat it. But what did you change it into again?
Woof. Intelligence.
No,
What did you change?
A frog.
Okay, I don't have a frog mini, but we'll throw something in to represent it.
Look at Sean's glorious mini now, waving goodbye.
If you've got
It is
something
now a frog.
funnier, I'm willing to take.
Do we just leave now? We just leave, right?
Right, we just leave.
We just leave. Sorry.
Cal, you turn the corner and you do see you turn the corner like you let out a battle cry as you're just like charging forward as you see Wiswick pop up from behind a rock, twist some arcane sigils in the air, and cast as the wyvern looks up, and you see it like its claws move forward, about to charge towards you, as it just suddenly like lifts itself up and then
And it just
into a little
lands on
tiny
frog.
Yeah, it lands down as a frog as you just hear this. Just this croaking from there.
All right, I skid to a stop, looking at the frog in confusion. Then I look at Wiswick, and then I look at the frog in confusion, and then I look at Wiswick, and I look back at the frog, and now I'm almost just like angry. And then I just shrug and turn around and start walking away.
Cal, what, and Kieran kind of trots Rocco up to look down the path and just sees nothing really, because I don't feel, maybe that high perception lets him see a little frog. But he's like, where'd the wyvern go?
I don't know. Ask Wiswick. I hate this shit. I say, sheathing my sword. Not like I'm disappointed in fighting, just that the fact that he just turned that man into a frog. I'll have no more frog makery.
I will never, in my life, get to actually use this minion. This is my 3rd try in all of my campaigns that I've had, and it never makes it to combat.
Well, you used it.
Yeah.
I got to see it.
We at least saw it.
It was cool.
2 episodes.
Seeing Cal and Kieran, Scarlet will turn around and just like, we really need to work on your stealthing skills.
Well, I mean,
Kieran?
I saw you first.
Wait,
Hit me.
hold on. Vizik,
I'm saying this while walking back.
Vizik, I've seen this magic before. There's a time limit on it. How much time do we have?
Wiswick's like chasing after the frog right now. He's like,
Vizik,
hold on!
get back here!
Leave it alone! 1 second!
No!
I gotta catch my little buddy!
Wiswick, the frog is hopping towards you. It's just...
Here's our pet.
It's got the angriest face you could imagine a frog having, as it is hopping towards you.
I kind of just pick it up by one of the hind legs, and I'm just holding it, and I'm
You're
like,
not bringing that with you.
Throw it in the bag
You're
of holding. Throw it in the bag of holding.
Won't it break? Will it break the bag of holding if it
No!
comes back?
I mean, it will turn back if it dies.
What we have now is wyvern breath on command.
I mean,
Wiswick, the frog
No!
is... The frog...
Oh, man.
Oh, no. One day, folks, Stefan won't be in a hotel room.
Yeah, and then maybe one day we'll have,
That day.
not moving screens constantly.
Wiswick, what's your AC?
it's 16 because I casted mage armor
Yeah.
at some point.
This frog bites you on the hand for 1 point of bludgeoning damage, as it's just gnawing on your thumb, essentially.
What a jerk!
I'm not gonna make you roll a con save because the DC is a 1, or I guess it's technically a 10. But
It's one of those non-poisonous frogs.
Yeah, it's just literally just gumming your hand.
Oh my god.
But it is trying to bite you.
Vizik,
What
what are you doing with that?
Frog? Yes, I want to know that too.
Either
Well,
we
I thought
keep
the bag of
moving.
holding idea was pretty good.
Yes, but now we need.
Okay, well then do it. I don't know. Just get rid of it, or we leaving.
I'd rather
Cal
not.
stops and pivots on his heel. Wiswick, question.
Uh-huh.
That's not when like you kiss it and it turns back into the thing, right?
No, it's more like if it dies, it turns back into the thing. Or if I lose concentration, sometimes... Sorry.
So what you're telling me is one of us should kill that thing right now.
No.
Is it stuffy out here? I think I'm getting allergies.
It,
You should bring that with you.
I'm
I
very
think you should
confused
leave
and
it,
I'm
I
annoyed
think you should
now.
move.
Cal,
Kieran,
you continue going back to the carts.
I do.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. You see Robert immediately is like hiding behind the cart and he pops his head up. He's like, that was quick.
Yeah. You can ask Wiswick. I don't know.
Kieran,
It's fine. I mean, I'd rather not fight a giant dragon, so it works.
can we get the bag of holding?
I'm just pissed that it could even happen,
I
Like,
do.
who else
keep
is he going to
some
turn into a
things in
frog,
there.
I'd say, walking back? Where's
It's
the-
fine. It's not like they're all in the same space. You just have to know what you're taking out.
So we're just going to leave it in there.
Why not?
I mean, it's a good way to get rid of the problem.
Okay. Kieran takes out the bag of holding, goes in, takes out the important things out of it, and then offers the bag to Wiswick open, like, well, I guess you can put it in then?
He shoves the frog in the bag of holding.
Kieran draws the strings.
I will remind you all that the bag of holding has a limit of 500 pounds.
So what happens when?
I know nothing of bag of holding. It's not my
Just
sleep.
immediate
It's not my
nuclear
magic
explosion.
item.
So like, what happens when it expands to not 500?
We don't know.
From 1 to.
We don't know. Scarlet's
You
gonna
do
start.
know because you bought this from someone and they told you what it does instead of you finding and identifying it. Saoirse, back in all the way back in Brackland Glen, told you that the bag can only hold 500 pounds. If the bag is overloaded, pierced or torn, it ruptures and is destroyed. Its contents are scattered into the astral plane.
I did say Kieran took all of his important things out of
So
it.
why don't we just like drown this thing in a river?
Because
no,
then that
if
would
it
kill it,
dies,
and then
turns
it kind of
back
turns
into a
back.
wyvern.
Right, but it's a dead
But it's
wyvern.
a dead wyvern.
No, it's
No.
not.
How do you know this?
I was listening to
I know this
Wiswick.
because I said so.
I know you. I say,
I would
kicking
feel-
Wiswick because I'm mad at him.
I would feel bad about killing a defenseless small creature.
I wouldn't. It just ate those
Quite
people.
fair.
Anyway, we need to keep moving or do something. We're running out of
Wiswick, the
time.
wyvern bites your hand again.
How does
Fine,
this
just
thing
throw
keep
it in
hitting
woods
me?
and keep moving.
I'm
I
holding it from the back leg.
It's
That was
literally
very
just
specific.
it's literally
It's
just
very
flopping
dexterous.
around and gnawing. It
I
can't
want-
deal like any damage because it deals 1 point of damage again. But like
I'm
it's just not enough.
holding its mouth closed. I'm grappling the frog.
Okay, give me a strength check.
How long does it last, Wiswick?
I got a 2. Minus 2 is 0.
Frog got 16 minus 5 is 11. The frog falls out of your hands and begins to hop away.
So let it go.
We just leave it, right?
Can we please just
Yes,
leave?
at this point, it's best just to move on.
I mount
Good.
that. I get my
all
horse.
the people we
Fucking
killed.
God.
We're just gonna let it go.
Oh,
I
shut
get on
up,
my horse.
Wiswick. Let's go.
Well, I was just told that we can't kill it apparently, so fucking, because that makes sense. A dead animal becomes a live animal.
Come on,
I say
Wiswick.
angrily and
Double
start
stuff.
trotting away.
Double stuff.
I mean, we've got an hour. Let's build a cage or something.
Double stuff.
Double stuff, Wiswick.
I'm already riding away, and I'm trying to get Robert and the wagons to follow.
Oh yeah,
Kieran is following Cal.
by this point the wagons are back into the circle. The extra horses have been brought over by Robert. All of your stuff is here. If you would like to continue moving, the frog is still here. It's not getting far because it can't go too fast. It's just sort of hopping around at this point, kind of angrily moving around, unsure of what to do
Oh.
in itself.
Yeah, I let it angrily move around. As we arrive back at the site of the massacre, I would like to be like, hey, maybe we should tell somebody about this, and I'll get off my horse again and search them bodies to figure out if I can find IDs, licenses, social security cards.
So
Yeah,
hear me out.
They've all got wallets with DMV licenses in them. Give me an investigation roll.
Oh, right,
We-
yeah.
We pin the frog right before the spell ends. We pin the frog to the ground with the immovable rod.
I already thought about that
That
idea.
actually could work, because then
No,
it'll
let's just
expand and it'll cut in half, right?
or we just leave.
We just leave, and if it doesn't move, it can't feed.
Why
and
does
it's
everything
time-
need to die? Nothing needs.
Yeah. Let's go, please.
It's evil! It's gonna kill people!
How do you
It's
know
at
that?
best neutrally bad.
Exhibit A, and I point to the half-eaten body.
They were just
Right
leaving.
from the
They were
Right
just
from the
Holy
with a
cow,
roll of
yeah.
17.
What'd you
Cycle
roll?
of life.
17.
Okay, so there's a few different things to identify. One, these people were not traveling with this cart. This cart was pushed down from up above to frighten them or to trap them into this space. They were accosted not by a lot of other highwaymen. There was really only 3 folks who came with them with swords out. Judging by one mangled body, that was the one the wyvern was messing with, another body that's there, and then 2 that are left, and 1 that you know that it completely consumed. These 2 travelers were simply traveling, and they were being robbed. It's very simple. It's not a this isn't like a Highland Syndicate brute group coming in and shaking them up. This was just highwaymen robbing them. From what you can tell, from what you can see, simple clothes. They were probably going to Summerlin or Forest Creek for one reason or another, and just all 5 of them were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I shrug and move on.
Moving on.
All right.
And we strike out to the northeast.
So you're heading on the path to Summerlinden.
Because we are fairly sure that that's going to be shorter than the path southeast to Cardone.
Okay. You start to head in the northeastern path. Everyone's getting back on their horses. Just going past this little frog here. Wiswick, what are you doing?
I guess I say, oh well, and I toss the frog. And well, first I
Where do you toss the frog?
He doesn't toss the
well,
frog.
I mean, it's on the ground.
It's already
It's
popping
on the
away.
ground already. I didn't toss any frogs. I didn't even pick it up. I look at it and I say, "That's strike 1, buddy. Next time I won't be so nice." I huff off back onto my horse. No double stuff today, Timber.
Timber's already wolf at this point. He's just...
Yeah. All right. So you push onward. Wiswick, you give one last look at this frog that is absolutely just hopping after you, slowly but surely, very quickly falling behind you as you're moving, as the frog cannot keep up with the walking pace of a horse or a cart. So slowly you curve uphill, and out of this little entrenched area. As the frog disappears in your vision and the ruins of that crossroad disappear from your vision. Only thing you can really see is very gentle smoke rising from what was left of any of the flames. As you enter into the upper road, heading northeast, you notice that the right-hand side of the road is sparse young forest. The left-hand side, you notice there's a little bit of empty fields before it reaches was very clearly farms on the left-hand side. You do find a mutilated cow on the side of the road that looks as though this wyvern had mutilated it some time ago, and it's sort of a rotting corpse of a cow just sort of there on the side of the road. Like anytime you see roadkill on the side of the road, this thing must have been kind of terrorizing this area in whatever way it has over some time. But you continue northeastward. It's about, I'd say, early afternoon at this point. As you're heading, the road kind of heads northeast for a while and then bends towards just eastward. As you can see around you is very much just lush farmland. Over through the sparse forest on the right side of the road, you can see it all drops pretty steeply, as whatever hill that led that hillside gets taller and taller and taller, as supposedly you might presume the Coors Creek Road went further down, maybe towards the actual lakeside of the Ulstamere Great Lake in the middle of the Quintarchy. As you continue on the road, soon night will come. Is there anything anyone would like to do before finding a spot to rest for the evening? You do see several small hamlets. You probably might, as it approaches maybe 5 p.m., I'll say, you make it to this very small crossroad, where you can see it is the main road that leads eastward, that has loose cobblestone here and there, and some loose planks of wood maybe keeping the road stable, and then a dirt road that leads northward. And there are 4 structures here. You see one that is just what appears to be a guard tower. You see one that just appears to be probably just an extended barracks, sort of a very small barracks, maybe house 3 to 5 folks in there. You see a very small tavern that barely has, it probably has maybe one room in there. It's called the Blissful Fisher. And then you see a fourth structure that is pretty much a stable.
Sean, I'm sorry, I might have missed this. Do we know what town this is, or is this just like a random?
It's not a
place
town.
that-
It's
yeah,
literally
it's
just a
like-
crossroad. Yeah. You notice, whoever comes in first, you would notice, the sun is still up. It is midsummer. By this point, it's about 90 degrees outside, so you're all a bit sweating. It is a hot day, especially those in layers and armor and whatnot. You would see just a young, I would barely call them guard, as they're not even really in armor. They have one of those, leather caps on that goes over the ears. They have a pitchfork, essentially, as they're sitting by this
The old war pitchfork.
as they're sitting by this little wooden watchtower almost. And you can see they're actually like looking through like envelopes. And they have a satchel next to them. As you can see, some laborers coming coming down the road, looking dirty, heading towards the Blissful Fisher. It's a very yokel crossroad that has some amenities for travelers, but mostly just here for a point of civilization for the farmers.
I'd like to go up to the envelope kid and say, "Hey, are you a guard or a messenger?"
Kind of looks up at you. You could see he's got these drowsy eyes. He has this straw-like blonde hair coming down that's just very messy, kind of pushed underneath the actual little leather cap he has. As he just sort of looks up and just, hey, hello there. It's kind of a summer job. But yeah, I run messages around these parts of the Shire. Sometimes we don't really go to the west yet, not until someone fulfills the bounty on that wyvern. But I go north into the farmlands to bring messages or find alternative paths to Coors Creek or Summer Linden. And I drop messages off to the couriers there. Yeah. But sometimes I keep an eye out. I've got a bell up there. I ring it if I see the wyvern.
Well, we could definitely let you know. I actually came from the west. I'm assuming we came from the west. And we definitely saw that wyvern there. It's you should definitely keep a bell out. He seemed really pissed off. Luckily, yeah, with no help of my friends, we were able to easily just scare it off. But that thing wasn't happy. I wish. Some people, they have a sanctity for the life. Yeah, it really is. It really is, random stranger.
Well, we've kind of gotten used to it. They take a cow here and there, they kill a sheep or maybe a horse if they're very hungry. And then, it's all right. We've kind of figured it out. But it would have been nice. Would have saved some money for the farmers. But and I heard that the old Prim up in Summer Linden, the Alderman's alchemist is looking for that wyvern's guts for experiments. Got a pretty penny for it, but suppose it's dangerous. Better to scare it off.
Well, I'll have to catch him next time. If he finds me again, oh, buddy, he's not gonna like what he finds.
Oh, well, if you could scare him off, I'm sure you're quite brave.
Oh, of course, I'm Wiswick. Have you heard of me?
That's in character. That little start.
Wiswick? No. I might be a messenger, but I don't get a lot of news, really. I really just send messages off to the marketplaces.
I do have one question for you, good man.
Oh, hello.
Hello, yes. Is there... I was here the whole time. It's not like you was ahead of me. Is there room at the inn?
Oh, at the inn, I mean, not many people stay there. They got one room, just in case. It kind of looks behind you. There's an awful lot of you. Might be tight, but some of you could sleep on the floor. I know they got 2 beds in the room. You. Some of you could sleep in the stables. It's empty right now, except for my horse, of course.
Well, thank you, friend. May the
Absolutely.
light of the Everflame watch over you, I say.
Oh, grace's blessings on you, sir.
And move on.
Okay. All right.
Wiswick kind of just sticks around to flaunt some more, and just tell some merry tales, I guess.
He would laugh at some of your stories, get a real kick out of it.
He would
give
cry
me-
at others. He
give
would
me
feel
a-
very scared at.
Give me a performance check, Wiswick.
The whole
Okay.
time, Timber just keeps giving looks to Kieran and Scarlet in the back. Like, what?
Nat 20,
Oh.
baby!
Dog eyes. Dog eyes. When your dog gives you
Kieran
side
is-
eyes.
Yeah.
Kieran's going to like find a nice spot for his tiny hut. He's not interested in it.
Timber's gonna join him.
Yeah.
Are you all planning on staying here for the night?
In
They call it
Kieran's
staying up
tiny hut.
Kieran's tiny hut.
Okay.
Ilyvanya's tiny hut.
Wiswick, would you?
I am simply its watcher.
If nobody's going inside of the inn, Wiswick will go for the inn room.
No, I meant what did you get for your performance check?
Oh, natural 20.
Nice, nice. All right, so in your conversations with him, kind of telling him stories and jokes and whatnot, you do see he starts laughing. He has a very like chortle, snorting laugh as he's slapping his knee, and then kind of ends the message, ends your interaction. Just like, all right there, Wiswick. I see why you're so famous. Apparently, you're very funny and you have good stories. But I must make way. I need to get to the next courier spot before the sun sets. Where are you heading, by the way?
I believe it's a little town called Summer Swindon.
Oh, you're heading over
Superdinden?
to. You're heading over to Summerlinden.
That's the one.
Oh yeah. I'd be careful heading over there. I've heard that it's not great for travelers, but weird things been happening the last few months there. But whenever I pass through, they always tell me to get through the town quickly, to mind my own business. And there was one time I slept outside of town because I didn't feel welcome at the inn, and I slept next to my horse outside of town, not too far from the torchlights, and I heard some weird noises coming from that town. Well, not a soul walking the streets, but weird noises, slow shambling. I'll be careful going there, but I've always made it through easy enough.
Bears.
Oh, it's very intriguing. I mean, it's not too dangerous, I hope. Not that I'm scared or anything.
Oh, it's not been too dangerous. You know, I always knew. I know the gravekeeper there quite well. We grew up together in these parts. His name's Jack.
Yeah.
You can't miss him. He's a tiefling fellow, blue with big horns. But he's a nice fellow. Always lets me stay with him when I'm passing through, since the townsfolk are so unwelcoming.
That's good information. Thank you, random courier that I never got the name of.
My name's Brian.
Brian. Okay, cool. Hi, Brian.
All right. Nice to meet you, Wiswick. I must be going now. As
You know-
he puts his courier bag over his shoulder.
Wiswick just doesn't take no for an answer, and as he walks off, he's like,
Well, Bilgrew is kind of like Brian. That's like one of my names.
Oh, that's wonderful. I hope
well-
to see you again, Bilgrew.
Okay, good night, Brian.
and I head off to the inn.
Okay. Easy enough to do. All right, so the rest of you are sleeping outside as Wiswick, you are staying in the Blissful Fisher.
Well,
Well,
mean, if
I guess
Wiswick-
Cal, you're the last one. Yeah. Do you want to stay in the inn?
yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But actually, I was more interested in stabling our horses and getting fodder for them.
Okay. When you stop into the inn, you could definitely do so, as there is a young woman who attends to the inn. Her name is Mary, and she is easily can give you both the room. There's no one up there. You just see those farmers are in there eating supper, and drinking heavily. The room will cost 5 silver pieces, and that will include dinner. And it'll be an additional 5 silver pieces for stabling and supplies for your horses.
I agree.
Dinner is a mixed vegetable grill with some peas, green beans, coarse rye bread, and with a dessert of rice pudding.
What? No pumpkin spice?
No pumpkin spice. It's all quite. I will say it is all quite bland. This is not the place that has salt at the ready. So,
There are other spices besides salt.
not for the countryside of Oxford.
No, that is.
I mean, it's based on England. So,
So as I sit down, I suppose with Wiswick to my bland meal, and anyone else, like I feel like we can all eat in the end. even
yeah,
though
I mean,
it's-
it is really. It's only about like
Yeah.
5:30 in
Yeah.
early evening still. So you guys could settle down if you have anything you want to talk about. You're about Wiswick. I was called Bill Group. Brian would have told you that Summerlinden is about 3 days away, and it's the main town between here and Caradolin, other than Coors Creek if you went the other way.
So yeah, that courier guy was pretty cool, huh? He really liked my jokes. He turned me on to some information that might be useful for tomorrow or 3 days away.
Oh, what was that?
Just that there's been some strange goings on in the next town over. The Sumer Flinden, they got weird people there that seem to be very cagey and mean, and at night you could hear strange noises.
So what you're
But
saying is
nobody's
So, like-
around.
so just walk around the town.
Or go through
Look,
during
I
the
know
day?
they said it wasn't dangerous, but it
based
was.
on my memory of the area.
I just saying what he told me.
Okay.
I think it'll be fine.
We'll avoid
And if
it.
it's not fine, we'll run.
I could use a
Fair.
trip into town. I need to get some more supplies for my magics.
Well, I think it's 3 days away.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Is when we're there. let's
No, I
get
agree.
started.
I could use. I don't need any things for
And
my.
Cal, since you were up with Wiswick at the beginning of the conversation, you would have heard what he told Wiswick
Yeah.
about the Alderman's alchemist, Prim.
There's an alderman's alchemist named Prim as well. Apparently, he was on the lookout for wyvern guts.
Oh,
So we know that there's probably somebody that can get your supplies for you. Q.
Very good. Yes, it would have been
In-
quite a fight indeed to take down that wyvern. I'm sure Livania would have been proud of our bravery, but
I'm still very confused about the metaphysics of this whole thing, but
what do you mean? He cast a spell to polymorph that creature, and
sure. Where did its mass go?
what do you
Like
mean?
its weight.
mass?
Well, he picked up the frog with no issue. He couldn't
Right.
do that with the wyvern. You know what I mean?
Wiswick,
Right,
give me a
because-
quick
Cal,
arcana.
Cal, you see me summon bats like on the
With-
daily. Do you think
with-
I
I
just
assume
pull them out of
that's
thin
like-
air?
Wiswick, give me a arcana check because I want to see if you have like an actual explanation. I think Cal would.
Oh, I
get.
definitely feel like I would, and I definitely can RP it.
Because I have an
Here we go.
explanation for how it works in my world.
That's
That's
There's
still
something
it's
like
still
the math
it's
goes
still
to the master
magic.
plan.
It's still magic, but
13
No, I just
plus 11 is 24, and this
All right,
spell is
so
in my book.
You're gonna have to give Cal a basic understanding of the planes of existence first, and then how there is a theorized, although mostly confirmed, plane of existence called the ether, which is the spatial plane of existence, and the mass is sent there temporarily before it's ripped back into this plane of existence.
Now, does it require more energy to move mass farther into different planes? Or are all the planes relatively equivalently distant from each other?
The answer is yes. It does require more energy because that would be something like banishment.
Interesting, he says, tapping his lips and eating his mush.
Oh yeah,
It's like
mixed
vegetable.
It's the mixed vegetables is absolutely like they just like boiled that shit until it was mush, and it's just basically meant to be spread on the rye bread.
You know, if you're really curious, I could cast banishment on you right now. You could take a quick look.
I don't know if I like that.
I would
What about
recommend
turning
it.
you into a frog? You want to give that a go?
No, I like that. I'd rather be banished.
Wiswick's just like laughing as he's taking a
I
drink.
take a spoonful of my mixed vegetables, and as they drip off my spoon, I'm like, I think the soldiers of Old Honduras before the Quintaki were paid in salt. Or at least that's what I was always told. I see why now.
That food might
Yes.
look more
Maybe that wink.
appetizing if you were a goat.
No, this is like a new fear now that you've given me. I really don't like this.
No, don't worry. I won't cast it on you unless you want me to.
Yeah, I don't. Who wants you to? Wait, what?
Are the rest of you inside eating?
Yeah, this
dinner
is just
with them?
bullshit. You guys can all
Yeah.
talk about it.
For the rest of you, it's 3 silver pieces for the dinner, just so you know.
Do I have money? Yes.
I guess that's mostly for Scarlet because I know the rest of you have like 1,000 gold.
Not that much.
I'm
I
close to
spent
that.
a lot of gold on jewels recently.
Scarlet only has money because she bet on Cal in that sparring match.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. As they're discussing the weaves of magic, I just want to lean over to Timber. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. These vegetables are not appetizing.
Terrible.
Yes.
That's better than nothing.
Right. I do like some tasty morsels of meat, though.
Yeah, you all recalling 3 days ago when you were eating Embla's feast and like how good that was. And now it's just like road food.
I don't.
Timber, do you have a favorite
Do I have
dish?
a favorite dish? It'd probably have to be guinea pig with a little bit of cream and some lemons. Have you ever had
Have I
that?
ever heard of a guinea pig?
Wait, like a lemon aioli?
Yep. Scarlet, give me a nature check. Cal, you 100%.
Technically a crema, actually. There's no eggs.
Yeah,
15.
Cal, you've 100% heard of guinea pig with the lemon crema.
I grew up very wealthy.
I mean, you grew up very wealthy in the multicultural cosmopolitan center of the southern portion of the continent.
Yeah.
It is quite good. I recommend it.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing where Cal had this on like a summer trip.
Yeah.
His parents.
We were doing Oxland that night. Oxlandish.
Well, actually, technically speaking, where Timber is from is technically part of Honduras.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's a bit more northwestern. But...
It's kind of contested territory. It's kind of like the western frontier, where it's just sort of like people settled there, and no one really claimed them.
Well, this is a serious question. Is that the area that's contested that the general was talking about?
It is near there, but it's not. That's not exactly where he went to. It's north. It's just northwest of the Tasaka Valley, the Tasaka Vale. So if anyone in Honduras would have claim over where Timber is from, it would be the Tasaka Vale. So it's
Whoever
not
that
completely exactly. It's not completely
Or
out of the question
count.
that might be part of the contested situation.
Interesting.
Have you ever had rodent or guinea pig? You've eaten
I
rat,
got a
right?
15 on my
Scarlet,
sheet.
you've never heard of guinea pig. You
Really?
never even seen a guinea pig. No idea what it is. You literally think he means a whole pig.
No, I can't say that I've had that particular dish before.
Have you had rat or hamster?
Definitely not just a hamster.
Oh,
It's
you're
a lot
missing
like
out.
a guinea pig, right? Yeah.
That's
I
right.
think
That's
I
right.
had
That's,
at least once.
that's right, Cal.
Scarlet, the closest thing you could imagine to this would be a bunny.
Oh.
Which you have eaten rabbit.
I mean, I've had rabbit before, but
Oh, that is relatively close. It's not as juicy though. Rabbit has more
more-
muscle,
more-
and it's
more
a little-
meat on a guinea pig.
more taut.
What
guinea
do-
pigs
what
have
do
more
you-
It's
fat.
a lot tender, right?
Yeah,
The rabbit I've had usually be gamier, right?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
usually gamier. Yes.
What did you
They
call
require
that
work.
creature? A guinea? A guinea?
They require more
Hey,
cream.
It kind of sounds a little Weasley to me.
It's not Weasley.
It's not.
Wiswick's only understanding of a weasel, though, are Underdark weasels, which are reptilian.
Spooky mole weasels. Yeah, we call that long mole.
Maybe I'll just call him Gins.
Scarlet, what is your
Folks.
favorite dish?
sorry, say that again.
What is your favorite dish? If it's not rodent.
It's not rabbit. That was too tough. There's nothing I like more than a freshly baked loaf of bread. I don't know what it is. It's simple. I could eat a whole loaf for breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yeah.
and be satisfied.
Staple
Whole
food
wheat,
in Cindermire
rye.
would be a salmon fillet with some multigrain bread and mashed peas.
She's a picky
Sourdough.
eater.
Ooh.
Definitely not sourdough. I don't like a whole lot of taste, if I'm honest.
So this is good.
So this actually, yes, this doesn't really bother me.
Texture's a little off. But... Folks, come to Paradise RPG for a combat session with Wyvern and Stave for the lush menus of the dishes across Gwenfalier.
S'mores. Oh, I want
Most
to
of
take it back.
Endurance culture has been built on what our food is, and it's like pretty much anything that is nice.
Yeah, it's like anything that tastes good. That's from Endurance, right?
Rum, whiskey, wine, it's all Endurance.
Only place in the Quintarchy where wine is produced is in the Quintarchy.
Yeah, and olives. Who doesn't like olives? Weirdo.
All right, folks. So you have a bland meal together, speaking briefly about the metaphysics of magic and the weave, as you all retire to your respective sleeping arrangements. Wiswick and Cal, you have a very plain, very small room where you are in two different beds that are pretty much only 3 feet apart from each other, with a single nightstand between them. The rest of you are sleeping in Ilyovanya's tiny hut outside. Okay. You go through the night, and there is little to no issue. This area is fairly civilized. If the Wyvern had come, someone would have ringed the bell. Seems to be the biggest threat they've got, besides highwaymen if you're in the less civilized parts of the road. You all awake the next morning, bright and early, since you got a pretty early night's rest. I've decided that I'm rolling for the temperature of the day, because it's summer, and I'm like, it's summertime. It's actually quite mild today for the middle of summer. It's 78 degrees outside. You get a little bit of relief from the 90-degree weather the night before. There's actually a light breeze. Light breeze. It's less humid today.
Coming from which direction?
Sean, am I shedding?
You are 100% shedding. Timber. Like every now and then you guys look over when you're like resting for like a half hour, and you see Timber just panting away. It is.
And then just scratches behind the ear and tufts of hair.
It is a.
I can't get my foot up that high, so.
It is a southern wind coming up. So it is.
So blowing up from the lake.
Correct. All right. So, is there anything you'd like to do before moving on? You do see there is like a new fumbling guard out at the tower. They are not sorting mail at this point, though they do have a courier's bag hanging off the side of the wooden tower. You can easily enough get your stuff together and head out. Is there anything anyone would like to do before heading out?
I would like to do some stretching with Kieran before we head out.
Okay. By the way, Cal, it is the 15th, and you do owe Robert his monthly payment.
I am.
How much do you pay him a month? 40 gold? Something like that?
No, it's like 6.
I don't know. Okay, 6 gold. Cool. All right. Okay.
I prepare my spells.
Okay, you do notice before you leave town, Robert actually goes to the courier, and you see him putting half of that 6 gold into a small pouch and handing a letter off to the courier with the pouch of 3 gold.
It's actually only 3 because it's bi-weekly.
I'll say part of his previous month payment he puts in there to make it 3
That's
gold.
fine.
And because he kind of doesn't pay for a lot of things when you're around, you kind of just drop gold often. So he's just
I think room and board was part of his contract.
It is. So he's been putting away this gold. So you see him hand off a little small pouch of gold with a letter to the courier before heading back to the carts to get on. And you make your way northeast, or more eastern now on there. You pass through more farmland. Although it's becoming like where prior there was like vast fields, now there seems to be more smaller fields that are separated by these makeshift stone walls. You can kind of see a patchwork across. If anyone's flown over Ireland, it looks like that. And you can see like kind of where the hills, there's kind of cascading hills throughout Oxland. So the horizon kind of sinks behind a hill to the distance, where you can see it is a bit more wild past the farms that lead up to it. You can see kind of like this very tiny, like ruined church up in the distance. That's just sort of a curious look. I mean, you kind of stop and pause at it before you hear a loud moo as a cow is just kind of at one of these stone walls staring at all of you with like deadlier eyes than the freaking wyvern. It's just moo as you keep moving along. The next day or two go by, and you are now on the 16th of Gualvala, the Fallow Dawn, on a Mondag, actually. As you're about a day away from Sumerlinden, it's the morning. If you were to leave now, kind of off, you're on the side of the road, you would get there probably around 7 p.m. The 2 days travel before this was not much happened. It's actually technically it's the 17th of Gualvala, the morning of the 17th.
All right, folks. This is your captain speaking. We should be arriving in Sumerlinden at 7 p.m. The weather there is nice 80 degrees, nice balmy 80 degrees.
Why are you talking?
I'm good to go.
Be sure to keep your harnesses fastened to your horses at all times.
Sorry, no, it's something. When I was working the Scythian fur trade,
I remember those.
Used to make fun of that a lot. He used to do that joke. I don't know what he's referencing, but he used to reference it all the time.
love that actually, because a lot of the Sivian fur traders are former military who would have been active during the Cold War between, all that. Anyway, you all start to head out for the day. You'll reach Simmerlinden at sunset, or a little bit after sunset. Is there what's the marching order?
Kieran will be up front, keeping an eye out.
I'm with him.
Scarlet's in the back.
Wiswick is also in the back.
I'm in the middle.
Timber in the middle. Right. Robert is behind Timber in the cart. Rocky and Embla is beside Rocky's. Oh, there's only one cart actually now. So Robert and Rocky are both in the cart. Embla is next to the cart. All right. So you head through for most of the day, and it is quite quiet. You hear the kind of sound of cicadas in the distance as you are in this part of the road where you see, one side is once again that young forest that kind of spreads out to a descending plateau cliff that leads down to what you presume is the beginning of the lake valley. On your left-hand side, there's less farms now, and there's more just sort of open fields. You, in the distance, can see maybe a farm that's maybe, 2 miles away or so, but it's largely empty, overgrown field between you and there. As you start to pass through the day, I'd say around midday, it starts to get a bit rockier, and you start to ascend, kind of like you're going up a very, very steep hill that might be kind of, this area is getting a bit more rocky and hill-like. Sorry, I just got distracted by Timber's chicken. But yeah, about halfway through the day, it's getting very hot out at this point with the sun up in the middle of the sky. It's about 98 degrees today. You are sweating. If you're wearing armor or layers, you are just coated in sweat, and it's sweating through your cloak and all of that, as you can hear just sort of the oppressive sound of the cicadas in the distance, as you're just sort of like, you're going through your water a bit quicker at this point. Is there anything anyone would like to do?
Kieran takes off his armor and is like, "Oh my, it has never gotten quite this warm in Elysia. I feel uncomfortable."
Kieran, are you always this hot?
No.
Timber doesn't actually say that.
I am honestly, I stay loosening my coat and shirt. It's even though I live farther south, we're up in the mountains. It doesn't really get that hot there either.
This is pretty much average temperature down under the earth.
Dark.
Yeah, under the
Good
dark.
Lord, really?
Right.
Only near
Oh
the
yeah,
lava
for
flows.
sure.
Oof.
There's lava flows. Yep. The deeper you get, the hotter it gets.
Interesting.
Well, I assuredly would not want to. That doesn't sound like a good time to me.
I grew up in a forge, so this is nothing.
Also, Scarlet, you're resistant to fire damage, so you actually feel quite okay.
I had a ring for that, but I don't know if it's attuned to that.
I think I would take strips of cloth, pour water on them, and tie one around my forehead and one around Kieran's forehead.
No, my tiara, my headband of intellect.
I'm not smart anymore!
Under that, or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it malfunctions, and suddenly Kieran forgets calculus. Kieran, this is your first summer, your first real summer, because summers in Elysia are very temperate, do not get nearly this hot, so you've never actually experienced heat this high, really. But you keep moving through the day, through the sweat and grime. save for Wiswick and Scarlet, who are quite comfortable actually. Before the rockiness starts to increase again, and the road kind of becomes a trench again that you're moving through with forested trees kind of overhanging above. It's approaching late afternoon, so you know you're getting close to Simmerlinden. Is there anything anyone would like to do? Does anyone try? What are your? Is it the same marching order?
I'm
I'd
good with
assume
that.
so.
Okay.
Wiswick would like to summon a fresh pair of Jet and use him to scout ahead and look for the graveyard that Brian mentioned.
Okay. So are you going to just cast the spell, or are you going to take the 10 minutes to summon him?
If I could get into the cart and cast the spell, I don't know what your ritual rules are with that.
You'd be able to do that.
Okay, great. That's what I'll do.
Okay. So.
Or we could just say I casted it like 3 days ago.
That's true too. Yeah. That's no problem. All right. So go ahead and send Jet out forward and give me that perception check from him.
Okay. I did roll with advantage, even though I shouldn't have, because I don't think you could hear a graveyard. So the first dice was a 10, which was lower than the 11, but it's +2, so 12.
12. Okay. And you're kind of just like generally keeping him ahead until he spots something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd say about an hour to 2 hours into the journey from where you are now. It's approaching about, I'd say 5 p.m. at this point. You're getting closer and closer, about 2 hours away from Simmerlinden. Jet doesn't see the graveyard yet, but he does detect some movement in the forest line on the left side of the road. He doesn't see it because he's blind, but he echo senses that there's movement.
Okay. I'm
just barely. Like he hears some twigs snapping, he screeches out, and he kind of gets a very brief glimpse of something that's in the woods, but not a full picture.
Wiswick just relays to everyone.
Jet saw something moving in the woods over that way, but I don't know. It could have been a guinea pig or something. Who knows?
All right.
Timber's sniffing for a guinea pig.
What's that? Kira,
Active perception check.
if you would like.
23.
That's low for you.
Hey man, it's low for you.
No judgment. All right. So as you're getting closer to where Jet identified this, I'll give you kind of, because Jet was ahead of you. You get closer, and Kieran, there's a point in the woods, because it's just all you can hear is kind of like occasional sounds of bird chirping in the distance. There's the loud sound of insects all around.
Buzz.
Maybe a hawk.
I got something for this.
And but you do start to hear the, with your, I know it's not your elf ears here. You hear just snapping in the woods. Oh, what was that? Can I see that again? Wiswick? Oh God.
Oh my.
You do actually hear the sound of crows, and that's actually something that makes you think for a moment, because you've heard crows a few times before, and I may not have mentioned it always, but crows, you know crows gather around corpses. But you've heard them a few times when there weren't corpses around, but maybe walking corpses. As you hear another snap in the woods, and you don't hear any of the familiar sounds of. You don't hear that though. This confuses you for a moment, because you think like, okay, that sounds. There's crows around and there's movement. There's not usually crows around when it's just like a bear moving in the woods. It's usually some sort of undead creature. but you don't
It's
hear any
Odin.
groaning. But you do hear this, and it's about 30 feet off to the left. Well, for where you're coming from, it's about 100 feet away, but 30 feet off the road. Ahead of you. As you just hear the breaking of twigs, and you hear some dragging limbs sort of sound, like something heavy dragging through the duff of the forest. That might be like a club or something like that. And these forests are tremendously young. You know, this is rejuvenating forest land after it's been heavily forested over the years by Oxland. So the trees are not very tall, and they're far apart from each other. So the closer you get, you will very much so get to be able to see whatever is in there. Granted, you are kind of in a ditch somewhat in the path, so you might have to get a little bit higher to see them. But
Sure.
You do know something is about 100 feet away and 30 feet off the road.
Kieran, holding up his hand, realizes information. Yes, I believe I see what Jet has noticed. Some creature about 100 feet further up the road. Seems to be dragging something. And those crows, I don't like that sign. They usually mean death.
All right. Do you want to hold here and go scout it out?
I can go take a look if you want.
Yes, yeah, it's better for me to stay here if there's death ahead.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Would you like to show me some of that sneaking abilities that you have, Scarlet?
Absolutely.
Kieran
can I
hops
come?
down.
I'm always down for some sneaking.
No, Vazuk, not today.
I think keep Timber company.
All right. I guess I had my time to shine already.
Vazuk, look at that rock over there. And I minor illusion like a green rock, like in the opposite direction of Scarlet. Look at that.
Wizbit, give me an Arcana check.
19 plus 11.
Yeah, it's a fucking illusion.
You're really bad at pulling pranks on me, Timber.
No.
They usually don't work.
I tried, okay? I'm sorry.
I mean, you want to see a cool rock? Check this one out.
And I pull out one of the Snurvneblin poisonous rocks that I got like 8 years ago, and I toss it at him.
Oh.
Timber catches it.
And
is
eats it.
Uranium?
Yep, it's actually uranium.
Wait, you've just had that this whole time?
Uh-huh. We've been slowly
Wait.
been irradiated over the
Wait.
course of many months.
Wait, what did you say?
You're probably sterile at this point.
I
man.
got some poisonous Snurvneblin rocks back in the day when I was in Drift March. They gave me a lot of things, and I just wanted to pull a little prank on Timber here by tossing one his way. And
By sterilizing
Toss
Timber.
it to him. Ah, you're
sterilized! Haha, prank!
Scarlet, give me a stealth check. Also, Scarlet, how are you approaching? Are you going up the road, or are you getting off the road to head up north? Because it is off the road that the sound is coming from.
Is there cover off the road? I know the tree. You said the trees.
It's
are young.
trees, but they're not heavily covered. Because
That's better than no cover.
Yeah.
it's better than no cover, but it's definitely like not a lot.
I'll stay off the road. Kieran, are you coming with me?
Oh yeah, no. Kieran has left his armor with Rocco
And
and follows on foot, glaive in hand.
as we're
I was going to
walking-
push up as well.
as I'm walking with them, I'm like showing Kieran how to step quietly, pointing out, how to look for the quiet places to step on the floor, on the ground, and like just teaching him to be sneaky.
Do you see this?
Okay.
This is a twig. Don't.
Dirty toy.
Do not step on twig.
Do not.
All right. So whoever is moving forward, then give me a stealth check.
Got a dirty
Oh. 19 for Kieran.
That's better. That's much better.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's quite easier without all the armor on. But your
17.
notes. Very good. Very good.
So we have a 17 for Cal. We have a dirty 20 for Scarlet, and then what was it again, Kieran?
19.
Okay. As far as each of you know, you have not alerted any creatures to your presence. Just double check. Yeah. So you start to move through the duff of the forest up 10, 20, 30, 40 feet before as you kind of ascend this hill. Like think about like if you've ever gone hiking on a very like small Connecticut mountain, because there's a lot of those small mountains in Connecticut where it's you're not really climbing, you're more so just walking at a steep incline. That's what it's like around these parts. So like you can see kind of a nice little semi far vista through the woods that is the other side of this little ravine that you all are moving through. But you look ahead, and as you crest the hill, you can see it flattens out, and about 50 feet away, you can see a shambling cluster of zombies, of undead. They don't look like fungal undead, though. They do not represent or look anything like the ones you've encountered. These ones look like decayed flesh that has roots writhing through it. So as opposed to these clusters of pods and mycelium and all other kind of fungal appendages, you see one has these leafed roots writhing through it that then go up its arm, and its hand becomes literally large root claws. For lack of a better way to describe them, they are what appear to be druidic undead, in the sense of that they have nature-like things writhing through them. As you can see,
Zombies.
Plant zombies. Zombies are like Pokemon in this world. You gotta catch them all. But you can see like inside the chest cavity of one where there's like the rib cage exposed, and you can see some writhing roots and some like there's a lot of like roots writhing through, but there's also like wicker things across it that look like they were shaped. Like it's the head of the zombie is a normal human head. You can see like the jaw is hanging off, but it has like kind of like the front half has been caved in and attached to it, and kind of with wicker infused into the flesh is a mare skull. So it's just this mare skull sticking down as it's just sort of like. And then in the rib cage, you can see a light purple flame. As you can see, it just sort of walking. It doesn't make any noise until you hear, as you get closer, a very soft clicking sound. Probably when you get within 60 feet of it, you start to hear a very light. You're probably not picking that up.
On.
Yeah.
We heard it.
Are they gonna explode?
Only one looks like it explodes. There's 5 that are these wicker undead that have the infused magic in them, and then there's one that looks like it's an amalgam of corpses put together that are just sort of like sewn together to the point of blobulousness. It just looks like a large blob of sewn together corpses that similarly has like wicker support all over it and these little talismans on it, and then a similar mare skull at the head that's pretty much replaced the whole head. There's no human head there. There's just a full mare skull with these antlers adorned to it that have these triskelions marked all across it.
Which we know to be the mark of the Pallid King, correct? Or is that just the druidic?
It's a druidic mark. Yeah.
Okay.
But do they look like they're walking away?
They're just shambling around. They're not walking in any direction. You see one is like literally up against a tree, just sort of head against it, like.
Kieran whispers to Scarlet, "These creatures are an abomination to Ilyu Vanya's magic. We should banish them here and now. Make up for the wyvern."
I don't know. I know they don't look like much, but they look rather dangerous.
But we're the Wayward 5, right? I think we can handle it.
Shall we go get the others then?
Of course. And Huron will turn to sneak back.
You lead the way. Remember what I told you.
Of course, yes. Step on the don't step on the
Don't step on the stick. Exactly.
Give me stealth checks.
Oh.
Do as I
Zo-
say, not as I do.
Zombies have atrocious passive perception. So you'd have to really fuck up for them to see you.
12.
Oh.
No, you won't. They're not gonna see you.
Yeah, 14 for Huron.
You did better
Cal?
than the rest.
It seems the student has become the master.
Okay, cool. So you all start to slowly descend back down the hill towards the road, and the rest of you see them approach as they kind of stand on the cliff side of this ravine, looking down at you all, at the horses. What would you like to say to them?
So it appears there's a group of zombies, not like the fungal kind we've encountered before, but some kind of druidic ones. I see them as an abomination, and I think after our not necessary failure to rid the world of the wyvern, maybe this is a chance to make up for that and take out something evil. It's otherwise beautiful land.
Wiswick's just smiling and bouncing up and down while he's hearing him say the speech. He's like,
All right, so what'll it be, Kiran? You want to hit him with your big guns, or you want me to do some
His big
fire
what?
stuff? Big guns, the high spell slots. We're talking Sace. We're talking the big six, the monster shots.
Why do we have to kill everything? Just
I
let
mean, we
things
could
be.
try and sneak past one.
We actually don't kill a lot of things.
Yeah, I was going to say we could easily walk past this
That
group.
doesn't mean we earn the right to kill things just because we don't do it often. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, I know.
So, are you going to continue on the road, or are you going to go take care of these zombies?
I think the plan is we're going to try and walk by, and if they notice us, then we'll engage. Yes.
I mean,
I look at Q to see his reaction.
I mean, he looks a little, not downtrodden, but he's all like, well, I thought, you could come at them from 5 different angles. I could rush in and use some magic from the Vanya, but I guess we can just walk past. That works too. Regardless, I was gonna say, regardless, there's a reason these creatures are out there, and I'm sure we'll find out why soon enough.
Well, there is that
He looks
alchemist
to
stuff.
the DM.
Maybe he's doing some kind of experiment.
It's true, in which case this could mess with his experimentation, but
Yes.
creatures such as this don't belong in our world.
yeah, I think it's smart to avoid the minor conflicts in order to save our power for the source of the scourge. I'm okay with this plan.
All right, so you are moving onward and trying to not trigger them when you pass on the road. Okay. Give me stealth checks.
Huron does not stealth.
well, I doubt Robert does either,
He-
or our horses.
He's not trying to be loud. He's not like raising a racket or anything, but he's a little just like, I just think that, we're supposed to be heroes and here's an issue. No one's necessarily in danger now, but I'm just saying,
That's wrong dice.
might behoove us to
We're supposed to be.
try to prep.
Who decided we were heroes?
Finally,
Well,
the
Yeah,
lawful
Yvonne
good
did.
character.
Yvonne did
Creates
when
conflict.
She blessed us all.
You don't want to be a hero, Cal? Come on.
What?
Who doesn't want to be liked?
That's not being a
hero
hero.
I
Alright.
suppose there's a.
liked.
I mean,
That's just being someone that's.
All right, so you
Like,
all are.
there's definitely an appeal to it.
I would like some
Everybody
stealth checks
exploded
from
there.
everyone.
15.
Well, again,
12, Scarlet?
Are there rocks nearby? Do hills count as rocks?
Not if you're on Jasper.
Okay.
17.
You just
17,
you
okay.
need a rock
Timber?
pony. I got a 15.
11.
11, okay. And Kieran?
Well, my passive stealth is 11. Do you want me to make a check?
I do. Your passive stealth?
I don't know, man. I just passive everything, right? Well, I got a 19, so
you took
But
all my
again-
stealth.
not trying.
Okay.
I mean, passive investigation is a thing, but I don't think we've ever used that.
No.
I have for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. Let's see. That's not a d20. You're passing through this ravine.
Mhm.
Quietly, you're moving the horses slowly so as not to echo too far into the woods. You get about halfway through when Robert just you and Cal, you see it. You see Robert go.
No.
As Robert unleashes the loudest sneeze you've ever heard, and it's a triggered sneeze, so it's 4 in a row.
All right. I'd like to sit there like this with my eyes squinted and like listening
Yeah.
as the pieces trail into the oblivion, and we just listen in silence for a moment.
Yeah. Everyone just clenches their butthole for a second.
Oh yeah.
Kieran looked excitedly
Timber's fur is
to
up.
the-
He's like,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
tail's
Your stripe on the back of your dog form is absolutely up. As Kieran, you're just sitting there and just quiet. You just hear the cicadas and a few crows in the distance, and then you suddenly hear. They are moving fast. They are not shambling anymore. I'd like a
Green
roll
cheese.
initiative.
They're
Damn
coming
it,
and they're
Robert.
coming quick.
All right, I will very quickly transform the old battle mat into the new battle mat.
Is this just your
We need some
revenge
battle
for us?
music. Sean.
Trying to skip your big encounter? He's like, here's some zomzoms.
Yeah, these zombies were definitely not here this morning when he prepped this. And I was like, fuck you guys.
The only thing is I can almost guarantee these guys are going to be stronger than my Destroy Undead, so
Hmm.
maybe we'll get everyone except for the ticking time bomb, but
I was hoping for some chain reaction on some ticking time bomb.
tick, tick, boom.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an old one.
Who is that band?
Who knows? I think that was their only one. They had one shot.
One hit wonders.
Yeah, to not miss his chance to one shot. This opportunity comes one shot.
Yeah.
All right, 20 to 25.
No, it's not that.
Cal, you got 25?
No, but I get to get a 23.
23? Okay. Scarlet, what'd you get?
It is the hives.
15 to 19.
19 for Kieran.
10 to 14.
14. Wait, no. That's less. I have less. Sorry. 9.
Okay, so 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Oh, Wiswick.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, right. So, what I'll say is, Cal, you're up first, but the zombies are not within vision yet. You could just hear them. They're coming from 30 feet away on the left side of the path.
Okay, I'm gonna get off my horse,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hand the reins to Robert and like wave him back.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll say easy enough to do. Robert rushes off with your horse.
I'm gonna draw my sword,
Excellent.
and I'm going to prep an action, ready an action.
All right. And you're readying, I'm assuming, an attack if something comes
I
within
am.
range.
Yep.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Scarlet, you are up next. You're on Shadow right now.
I'm on Shadow right now. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to get off Shadow and also hand my reins to Robert.
Robert is walking by with Cal's horse and is like, oh, okay, all right.
Thank you.
I can't handle more horses.
He can handle horses. They're trained horses. Come on.
So,
If he takes the time to tie them together and not be afraid of zombos. But anyway, it's the
bonus
purpose of Robert.
action- bonus action, I would like to rage.
Okay.
And,
Oh, right.
I
Uh,
would.
Okay, yeah.
No, did I say it wrong?
No. I'm just saying if you don't deal damage or take damage before
Right.
your next turn, the rage will go away. So
know.
just be aware of that. I don't know
I
if
thought
you...
about that. I thought about
Cool,
that.
cool.
Um, and I am also going to ready I have Caleb's blade out, so I'm going to ready an attack for when something comes within
Are you
range.
going to move at all? Because you are further back behind, if you can see on the map. Do you want to move up towards where Cal is? You're in the back there with the red hair?
Yes.
Where would you like to move? Up next to Cal?
If I can get as close to Cal as I can get, yeah. I have 30 feet.
You can actually get right next to Cal.
Perfect.
Okay. Kieran, you are up. You're on Roko.
So, yes. So that's like a cliffside to our left, correct?
Correct, and
Nice.
that's where they're coming from.
Okay.
It's not very tall. It's only about 10 feet high.
So on the back of Roko, on the back of a horse, could a 7-foot tall elf see anything?
Give me a perception check.
18.
There are 5 zombies running at top speed towards you. They will be upon you in 6 seconds. There's one moving much slower behind them that will be upon you in 12 seconds.
So I can't ride up to them, correct?
No, the best you could do is ride Roko up to the edge of the cliff and then climb yourself on there. And use your movement to you could actually get up to them.
No, I'm not going to do that. Could I fire a spell at them from here?
You do have vision of them, and they are about 45 feet away. So yes, if it's in range, you can send a spell towards one or many of them. However your
Yes.
spell is.
Guiding bolt towards them.
Okay.
We'll just fire it at the lead one, taking Roko around, glaive in one hand. Cast guiding bolt out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jeez. 15 to hit.
15 will definitely hit.
Oh, okay, cool. I forget what the damage is. 46. Because this was just the first spell slot. 12 radiant damage.
12 radiant damage. Okay. So you watch as these zombies are moving much faster than any undead you've seen before, and you fling this guiding bolt, and it weaves in between the trees of its own volition before crushing into the chest of this zombie, pausing it for a moment as it kind of has to regain itself. It trips down for a moment and then slowly crawls its way back to its feet. This radiant, glowing target essentially on its chest as it rushes forward. Anything else in your turn?
Nope. I guess. Yeah, we're in a good range. Right, a little behind Cal, still on Roko's back.
Okay. It is the zombie's turn.
language.
Start one too few zombies.
Say it ain't so.
So the zombies are rushing through the woodlands. Only Curon can really see them at this point as they come rushing through. I'll just use this little dwarf guy. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, never mind. Here's another zombie. All right. So they come rushing through. They are moving faster than zombies you've seen before as they immediately fall down off of the edge of the cliff. Very like Battle of Hardhome style, falling off of the cliffside. As you see 5 zombies all collapse down off of the side. Not that bouncy. And then they all get up and rush towards Scarlet, Cal, Scarlet and Cal. There's only one that actually can't get to you. As you see up at the top of the cliff, you can see the bloated one that Cal had saw earlier. That is an amalgam of several corpses as they all go for attacks on you. All right.
Would our
Do I
actions
get
trigger
my
first?
ready? Yeah.
Yes, both of your actions would trigger. So, just for your reference, where are my stupid markers? Doesn't matter. Scarlet, the one that is directly here between you and Cal is the one that has the guiding bolt on it.
Okay.
Cal and Scarlet. So whoever attacks first, Cal, yours will be triggered first. If you attack that one, you have advantage.
I'm not going to attack that one.
Okay.
I'm going to attack the one to the farthest right.
All right. What'd you get?
8, still at 18. 18.
Oh, I didn't hear the original 18.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, that is a 13 damage.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to expend a superiority die to use sweeping strike
All right, excellent.
and do 4 damage to the guy next to him.
4 damage to the guy next to him. Excellent. Anything else?
Well, my other attack. I'm
Go for it.
going to go back the other way, Sean.
Zoop. Zoop.
16.
That hits.
Okay. I can do math. 12 damage.
12 damage.
11 damage, sorry. 11 damage.
Ooh, 11
And then
damage.
I do 4 damage to the first guy. Because I sweeping attack again.
Okay. How much damage to the second guy?
4.
4. Okay. So the first guy crumbles down into nothing. So you deal 4 damage to the next guy. All right. So that first zombie on the right, you see it just the flesh seems to rot away entirely, just dissipating into dust as you see just the wooden and plant life parts and bone parts are left behind, but the zombie is dead. All right, Scarlet, your attack of opportunity.
Yep, I did. I'm attacking the guiding bolted one.
Okay,
I rolled a 26.
that hits, and
Okay.
you get sneak attack because you had advantage.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. All right, so 8, 10, 16. So 16 sneak attack damage plus I rolled a 6 on my d6, so 11 plus 2 for rage and 13. So altogether 29 points of piercing damage.
Yeah. This Zombo crumbles into ash and you see some of like your reticent flame, some of your like you're not erupted flesh, but like the rage brings out a little bit of these little like streaks of fire off of your attacks that kind of come off of like your raging self. As you can see, the wood of the remains is starting to singe a little bit.
Very cool.
Okay, so now that you've triggered your attacks, they are going to attack you. All right, so what do we got left? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So 2. I'll say 1 on Scarlet, and 1 on Scarlet, and 2 on Cal. Oh, Jesus. That's a natural 1 for the 1 on you, Scarlet.
Nope.
The first one for you, Cal, is a dirty 20.
Oh, yeah, that'll hit.
All right, so that'll be 7 points of slashing damage as its fingernails rip into your side, and kind of you see the fingers start to rip apart themselves as it's trying to pull through your armor, pull through to try to grab at flesh, and then it is going to go in for a bite attack. And I forgot, Shannon, the one on you is going to go for a bite attack on you too.
2
Cal,
attacks.
Cal, that is going to be a 19 to hit.
That is my AC.
Okay. And that is going to be 7 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Scarlet, the one of you got a natural 20.
Oh. Yeah.
That is 10 points of piercing damage, and I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw. Cal, what'd you get in that con save?
22.
Okay, then you are not poisoned. Scarlet, what'd you get in your con save?
I am. I got a 8.
You are considered poisoned. And Cal, you got 2 more attacks on you. This one misses. The next one is a natural 20.
Wow.
Jesus.
It rolled very low, so don't worry. It got 6 points of piercing damage, and oh wait, no, sorry, that was the claw attack. So that's actually 6 points of slashing damage, and then its second attack on you. Oh wait, no, that was the bite. Sorry, that was the bite because it missed the first one. All right, so give me another con save.
I think you guys glad that we fought them.
What was it? 15? Okay,
Yeah.
You are good. You did not get poisoned. Yeah. Oh, right. So these zombies have now kind of fallen down and crawled themselves back up. You can see these roots are writhing through them and kind of sticking out like tendrils as they go in for these attacks. They're not going up and just sort of like, I'm standing here and I'm gonna swipe at you. No, they are clawing across you, ripping at your flesh, ripping at your armor. Scarlet, you're barely holding back the one that's attacking you with your Archon blade as it bites into your neck, and you feel the immediate infection of poison into your veins as you cry out as Cal. After cutting one down, you see these two, they crawl on top of you, and similarly, you're being somewhat overwhelmed by them. As you can see, there's one behind them, and you can see up above this sort of hulking figure kind of waddling up to the edge. That is the end of the Zombo's turn. Timber, you are up. Wiswick, you're on deck.
The one that went after Scarlet, having watched her get bitten, Timber's going to arrive and get into flanking position and swipe.
Swipe.
Yeah. Yes, he's gonna do that.
All right, go for it.
That one's definitely gonna miss. It's a 12. Unless these things have really low AC.
12 hits.
Oh, sick.
Nice.
Alright. Well, that's 8 points of damage. Yay! Second attack. This is 19. It's gonna hit.
Nice.
That is 9 points of damage. I'm gonna furiously blow. Wind at it.
Furiously blow.
That's a natural 19.
Nice.
Nice.
It's not a crit.
I know.
That is only 5 points of damage. Last one is also going to hit with a 16. And that is max damage, so that is 10 damage.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop, pop,
What was
pop,
the
pop.
last one?
10 damage.
Okay. So as you rush forward, Timber, you go. Are you still in wolf form? Or are you in?
I'm hybrid right
form?
now.
Oh yeah, because you use furious blows.
Yes.
Fury of blows. You come rushing forward and you claw into the back of this creature. Your first 2 attacks, and then you go in for your first blow, and you see it just collapse to the ground and start to dissipate. But then you can kind of see it starting to reappear, like reapparate. But then you bring in your last blow down into the core of it, as it just, as you see the flesh that is there dissipates into the shadowy mist that shoots around and floats up into the air as the wood and bone parts are still remaining.
And then I would like to...
And anything else, Timber?
Circle back around with my remaining movement. I'm not in attack of opportunity range of the one that attacked. Yeah.
You would be in attack. You would be in range of one of them.
Okay, then never mind. I'll just remain there.
Didn't I kill the one in the circle there?
Yes, you did. Never mind. You would be able to move. Yeah, you would be able to move because that one got 29 points of damage to the face from Scarlet.
Okay.
So where would you like to move?
Just like next to Scarlet, in between Scarlet and Cal.
All right. Wiswick, you are up.
Okay. First, I'd like to move forward until I'm on the map because I have no idea where I am.
There you
Okay. Can I see? You mentioned some sort of hulking creature in the distance.
Yeah, it's that pink blob in the top. Oh, you can't
Ooh.
see it on the. You can see it.
No, I can see the pink blob.
No, I want to make sure the audience can see it. So I'm gonna zoom out a little.
Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna want to try and hit that thing.
Okay.
We're gonna go with an oldie but a goodie. Let's try blindness/deafness. And we're gonna try and blind it with the power of charisma. I shoot glitter out from my hand, and it's Feywild glitter that flies through the air and like spins around and goes straight into his eyeballs.
What's the DC?
DC 16 charisma.
Okay. Well, it could have only succeeded if it got a dirty 20, or a nat. If it could only succeed if it got a nat 20 or a 19, and it got a 9, or a 6. So it definitely did not succeed. So it is blinded, or is it deafened? Your choice.
I choose blind.
All right. So that creature is blinded, as you can see. That I just remembered, it's immune to blindness.
Oh no!
Because if I recall in my description, it does not have a head. It has a skull that it is giving clicking sounds out of. So it is not capable of being blinded.
Well, I kind of messed that one up because I didn't listen to the description either.
Well, you technically didn't see it. Curon saw. I was the only one who really saw it. And I guess they didn't describe it to you. They just said zombos.
Well, I mean, I gotta see it in order to cast my spell on it. Plus, I got 120 feet dark vision.
True, but you've cast darkness on things before that have just had a skull for a head. Or not darkness, sorry, blindness. So I mean, I guess yeah, you would have seen that it had like a skull for a head that had little lights underneath it, but
All right, whatever. I jumped the gun. It's no biggie.
okay. All right. Do you have anything you want to do with your bonus action?
I would like to walk behind Curon's horse.
You could definitely do that.
Yes, I want to be far away from that thing.
you've got 3/4 cover behind Curon's horse.
Perfect.
Okay. Back to nope. Actually, nope. It's Embla's turn. I remembered this time. As Embla will rush forward to attack the zombos attacking Cal. Where's your stupid character sheet? There it is. So she can get, I'd say, right up to this one. And she will go in for... first, she will cast a bonus action. Actually, no, she's going to cast Booming Blade and go for her attack. Okay. Oh, come on. Embla, why do you roll so low? Oh, so that's... Oh, well, they're zombies. Good thing they're zombies, because that definitely hits. Because she has a wicked high modifier. Oh, right. That is... Forgot I was playing a character tonight. Oh, nice. That is... She deals 12 points of slashing damage. And then the monster, the zombie, is sheathed in glimmering light, but it does take 12 points of damage. Okay. All right, that is Embla's turn. Top of the order to Cal. Scarlet, you're on deck.
That thing's not dead, Sean?
Oh, sorry, I put it on the wrong one. You're right. That one is. Actually,
no way.
actually, it's not dead.
I did like 14 damage to it.
You did 8 damage to it.
No. Okay, sure.
4 and 4 with your
We're not going to
attack.
retcon it again. Yeah, I meant I flipped the 2, so I did 4 damage to the... It doesn't matter. We're not going to retcon it.
Okay.
Okay. I attack it.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
That'll hit.
Wow. For a whopping 9 damage.
Okay. You hit it for 9 damage, and it collapses down to the ground, and it starts to try to rise up. And so you hit it, and it collapses down. You start to see the flesh burn away, and then you see it slowly reconstitute. As
11
creature.
damage with 2 poisons. Sorry. Didn't
Okay,
calculate.
then the creature just dies then instead.
Okay.
Poison damage was acid damage, right? Not
Yeah,
poison.
acid. Yeah.
All right, the creature stays dead then. As you see it start to rise up, and then the acid burns the flesh away, leaving behind just bone and wood and wicker. There is one left.
A lot of things made of wicker in the world.
Wicker baskets.
All right. I extend the prongs of the black and attack that other one
Excellent. Go for it.
for a 19.
19 hits.
That's better. It's a lot better. It's 17 damage.
Nice. It is still alive, but barely holding on.
How barely?
Like you can see the flesh is singeing away from the acid, and is
I step forward and punch.
some like okay. Go for it. What's your strength modifier again?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. What is the damage with the
damage.
strength? How do you want to kill this thing?
Yes.
Literally had 5 hit points left.
Right through its brain. You know?
All right, so you.
I feel like it's like soft and gross. I feel like.
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah,
Maybe like-
absolutely.
Soft and gross.
Like you look at this creature and you see it just start to slowly dissipate apart. You see the roots are kind of whipping out as if they're like wildly trying to maintain the body of this creature, and then and you see it like kind of reaches forward to try to grab you. But you duck out of the way and uppercut it beneath the mare's skull on its head into the fleshiness that's beneath it, as the mare's skull just sort of pops off and falls to the ground, and you see you're just like holding on to like what's left of a brainstem, as you just sort of like, oh no, as it's crushed between your fingers, like just coming out like soft goo. As the thing just falls down, and you're holding on to the brainstem that has just some vertebrae hanging off the bottom of it.
Nice.
As you're
It's a
just,
Mortal Kombat finisher.
yep. As it is now Scarlet's turn. There is still the blob up on top of the
Like
cliffside.
that looks cool to everyone else, but I'm like, ah.
Yeah, it's like that weird material that's like Jello, but it's got flecks in it, and then there's like pieces of bone in it, and you're just, it's the worst.
Have you seen 1917?
Yes.
There's that moment where he falls down and he puts
Yep.
his hand through the guy. You're like, oh no! Oh, that's
Literally, when I saw that point, I was just like,
I think I was, same thing. I was like, no.
I
Oh
didn't
my
know
God.
skulls could be that soft. Scarlet, you are up. There is still a blob up on the 10-foot high cliff.
Yep. Does it look like it's gonna jump?
It's 100% going to jump.
Cool. I'm gonna ready an action to attack it when it comes within range
All right, readying an action.
with my
Kieran,
background blade.
Kieran, you are up.
You're still muted.
You're muted, son.
Kieran's turn is
There you
skipped.
go.
Huron's going to be a little dejected and be like, man, I probably should have ready to move instead of just attacking. But such is life, and he's going to guiding bolt 3rd level at the blob
Go for it.
for 24.
It hits.
It's a lot of numbers. 10, 14. Oh boy. 24. 26 radiant damage.
Nice.
Nice.
2 6s, 3 4s.
So you watch 26, you said?
Yeah, radiant.
Radiant, excellent.
Radiant AF.
So you watch this creature, you hit it with this force of radiant light from Ilyavania, this beaming energy that swivels out and spirals into the creature, and it does explode portions of its flesh that spew out this horrible green liquid. But you also see, like, this is the thing you notice makes you uncomfortable, and like these are not normal zombies, is you see like this almost like this spirit leap from the exploded pustule. Like you see a light that sort of shoots out and then dissipates into the air harmlessly. But there's something beyond just its what you're used to with fungus zombies and spores. But the creature's still alive.
We're gonna just move Kieran up the path. We'll say like 30 feet, just so he's away. Still on Rocco. Leave Wiswick out in the open. What's a horse's movement speed?
It's more than that. I think it's 60.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay, maybe another 10
I think it's
feet
60.
forward.
10 feet? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
Actually, can you move him? But no, I'm just kidding.
Fuck you. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. It is the Zombo's turn now. As Scarlet, you're readying that action. Cal, you've got a spinal cord in your hands. This creature, you see it just sort of, it gets to the edge, and you can see it just sort of like, it's got like this bulbous flesh. It's not like, parts of it are bloated like pustules, and then parts of it are like muscle, where you can see like an arm is like stuck like this on one side, and the other one is kind of like this. It's just been put together in the wrong way, as it just sort of like. And it just sort of tumbles down, and Scarlet, you watch as it just sort of splatters in front of you. This guy. As you can do your attack of opportunity, but you can kind of see it just sort of like the pustules are growing larger and larger as if they're about to explode.
That's gross.
But go ahead and attack.
Oh, would have been a good one. That is going to be a 10.
That hits.
Seriously?
They're zombies. Their AC is 8.
Sean, did you paint that many, or did you just get a piece of gum stuck under your desk?
No, I opened one of those WizKid packs and was disappointed to see the gum blob I got. It is the first time I had a moment to use it.
So 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 2 for raging is 13 points of piercing damage.
Did you get your sneak attack? Because it had advantage.
You would get sneak attack on it.
I had disadvantage.
Why did you have disadvantage?
I'm poisoned.
Oh, that's right. But
well, you would have had advantage because of guiding bolts on it.
That's true.
So net nothing, I guess.
Yeah, it negates it. So you, but it's within 5. You have sneak attack because it's within 5 feet of your allies. You, Embla, and Cal are clustered around it.
16, another 16 points of piercing damage.
How would you like to kill this thing?
Does it have a face?
No, it has a skull with antlers that has glowing eyes behind it that is staring at you upside down as its flesh is slowly growing in size.
Yeah, I want to just stab it right through one of the eye holes in the skull.
Okay. Wise move. If you had stabbed it anywhere else, it could have been much worse. As you stab through the mare's skull, cracking the bone, splitting it, as you see the purple light behind the eyes of the mare's skull dissipating into nothingness, the flesh right before it explodes, starts to burn away into ash and shadow, floating up into the sky as you can see a similar as some sort of spectral form leaves the corpse. As it just sort of burns away, leaving behind just the split mare skull and some wicker and the antlers upon it with the triskelions, as you have quickly and efficiently dispatched these undead creatures.
Cal throws the spinal column and nervous system away and wipes his hand on the ground.
Sharon, I don't feel good.
Cal, give me a wisdom saving throw.
I don't feel good.
Sean, could I use the turn that I didn't get to roll an Arcana check to identify what the heck's going on with those spirits leaving their bodies?
You absolutely can.
Wisdom saving throw, you say?
Yes.
That's a 5.
Alright, well that dice is gone forever.
Folks, you see something in Cal's face you haven't seen in a long time. As Cal, these may have not been humanoids in nature, but the desecration and vileness of what was left of the humans who were these creatures overwhelms Cal as he was holding the spinal cord of what was probably at one point a farmer, traveler, trader of some sort. And you see that old familiar catatonic state hit Cal that hasn't happened in weeks, months. As Cal, you sort of, the defilement of undead bodies reminds you of the innards, the insides of every man you've cut through, every woman you've cut through over the last 2 months. In a moment of strange realization of what you've been through, you've been strong for a while, and this has not happened in a long time, and perhaps it's because you've been fighting not, other creatures. You've been fighting monsters. You've been fighting, spectral entities, demons from other planes of existence. You forgot the brittle mush that makes up man. And this reminds you of that. Leaving you for a moment cold and shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Just staring at what remains on your gauntlet of that spinal cord.
Recognizing that look, I'll kind of walk forward since I'm right there, and I'll kind of help brush it off, wipe it off his hand. It's all right. It's done.
Cal just stares at her blankly, I think. Kind of almost a confused look, if anything, on his face.
It's done. Let's move on.
Sean, you're muted.
The expression on his face is almost as if he doesn't recognize you for a moment, as he's just... To give you a reference, Cal, Tim, you look like the I'm forgetting all their names, but the face of the brother when Schofield tells him that his brother is dead in 1917, when he's just sort of
yeah, where he just moves, he widens his eyes and then goes,
exactly,
thank you, soldier, get over there, he just
exactly,
understood.
What's in your head?
Doesn't respond.
Yeah, no, Cal doesn't respond. Just kind of widens his eyes at you. And after 10 seconds, just kind of goes, right, where were we? And goes to collect his horse.
Wiswick, what was your Arcana check?
17.
17. All right. You're not as familiar with these entities. I would say from your brief readings on the Feywild, from the old book that you used to be reading, and your research with Curon, and I'd say Curon, if you want to give me a check, you can as well.
Sure. Arcana or religion?
Either or. Arcana, religion, or nature.
They're all plus 11 for me, so take your pick.
If we do religion, it's going to be 18.
Okay. So say there's a moment you two look to each other, and there's this understanding where you're like, well, the fungal zombies are, from what you researched, of the Seelie Fae. They were crafted through manipulation of spore magic, druidic spore magic, from experiments to revive parts of the Feywild with fungus, essentially. These are pure Seelie Fae magic, something constructed, created by a Fae entity. These magic could only be created by Fae magic of the Seelie variety, which the Feywild is ripe with now, but not typically something created by, say, a spore druid somewhere who creates, fungal abominations. No, these are constructs more so than they are undead.
Any possible... I think Wiswick would just start theorizing. He would think,
what type of Fae would have enough power to create such abominations?
And he would just start naming off all the Fae he could possibly think of, and just doing process of elimination.
Curon, you have a sensitive understanding of undeath and necromancy because of the variety that Ilyvania sanctions, which is white necromancy, light necromancy, which is the nature-based or font-based lichdom of the court.
The extension of life, if you will.
Exactly. With the extension of life by the removal of life. In ways, but it is considered more of a positive energy than the clearly no negative energy of dark necromancy. These are necromantic to a certain extent, in the sense of the flesh is made capable by necromancy, but the total magical creature is constructed. The bone, the wood, and the wicker is doing more work than the flesh in holding these creatures up.
Gathering some of the remains, maybe like a jumble of wicker here, a bone there, maybe the skull that Scarlet stabbed through of the larger one. Making sure that, they're all...
You grab the split skull?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you grab the split skull, you kind of are holding it together. And when you hold it together, the center of the skull 100% has a swirl in the center. Now, there are triskelions on the horns, but the center of the skull is a swirl.
And the swirl is the pallid.
Correct.
Okay.
Quit
That's
using
what
line art and iconography, Sean.
So Kieran is going to kind of hold this up and put it together and showing it to his companions. Go, well, it looks like we were brought here for a reason. The sign of the Pallid King marks this creature.
This
Yeah,
thing
this
follows
guy
us, it
again.
seems.
What'd you say?
What?
You both talked at the same time, and I couldn't hear either of you.
I just said
I
this
just
guy
want.
again.
I just think that.
Wiswick first, and then Cal.
I don't want to go first.
Cal,
This
go
guy
ahead.
again.
Is it Cal now this time, or is it
Yes, it's Cal.
I'm getting very tired of encountering this consistently. It's like it's following us.
Well, maybe we're following it. Meant
I
to
don't know
come
if I
here
like that less or more.
by Ilyvanya's guidance. Regardless, you two are injured. Here, let me see to your wounds. And Kieran walks up to both Scarlet and Cal and cure wounds, on either one. Scarlet, you get 12 points. Cal, you get 7.
That doesn't clear away the poison, right?
No.
No, I don't have restoration prepared, so... fester
Scarlet,
off.
you generally have fever going on. You have cold sweats in this damp 90-degree weather of the summertime months. And your vision is blurred.
Medicine check. Can I do something to help?
Let's hear it. Go for it.
30-20.
I would allow Kieran, if you have something in your pack, like some kind of herbs or healer's kit, to attempt to...
Yes. Where did I pick up that healer's kit?
I have a healer's kit.
That's what it was.
I'll say you can
Scarlet has a
use...
healer's
You can
kit.
definitely use Scarlet's healer's kit to use some of the medicinal herbs in it to cure her poisoning.
And looking over at
Scarlet, it
Timber.
reduces your poison duration by half, what he's done. So you still have 30 minutes of poisoning,
Okay.
but not a full hour.
Kind of, mixing some of the herbs or whatever. He's like, would you happen to have anything for poisons or the such?
Here you go.
Tim.
I hand him one of my... Do you need one or two?
Just the one, I think, for Scarlet, right? Cal, you feel all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Here you go, Scarlet. And I reach in my bag and I take out one of the potion of poison reduction. Not removal, just reduction.
Scarlet, it tastes like worms. And dirt. And dead leaves.
And dead leaves.
Ooh, can I get some of
It'll
that?
help too. Don't worry.
Jim wants it.
Scarlet, this reduces your poisoning down to a manageable 15 minutes.
Cool.
So you'll
Thank
have a
you.
rough time for the next
15 minutes.
little bit of time, but you'll not be spending an hour vomiting and shitting as you travel along the road.
Good.
Just 15 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Mounting back up on Rocco, Kiran goes, well, I think that was a productive time spent. At least we have a better idea of what's going on around here. More Fey magic, the Pallid King. Should be a fun time in... Where was this town we're going to?
Summer Linden is the name?
Summer Linens. Yes, very good.
No, they're pronouncing it Summer Linden is how they're all saying it for some reason.
Ah,
I assume it's
Sumer.
dialectical.
Supper din din.
No.
I
Can we
could go
move,
for some.
please? Can we
Yeah,
The
please-
oldest, only the oldest settlement in all of Oxland. Actually, Cal, give me a history check.
I will give you a history check.
Scarlet, give me a history check too.
Okay.
You have a higher DC than Cal because you're not noble.
Well, that's kind of rude.
Well, her history
Well-
classes would have been very different than Cal's, in the sense that
I
they
rolled
weren't.
low. Which she, yeah. In the
Her-
sense that she was not-
Her history classes were her father at the tavern with her there, being like, and then Uthern founded Oxlin, and he defeated the dragon that was at Caradolin, and that would have been her history lesson.
She barely paid
Yeah.
attention.
Cal, what'd you get?
I rolled low, 12.
Scarlet?
6.
Scarlet, you've heard of Summerlinden in the sense of like, your dad was like, I knew a good smith who lived in Summerlinden. Traveler came through and disappeared into Paraxis. Tim, Cal, you know of Summerlinden for... There's only one thing you know about Summerlinden. The only thing you remember from your history lessons is that it is the first settlement in Oxland. That when Uthern was traveling from Sverwold into what is now Oxland, this was the first place he settled before eventually establishing his throne in Caradolin.
I do remember that this was the first place Uthern settled before establishing the throne in Caradolin in Oxland. So, but that's about it. I don't think much of note has happened since there.
Well, they may have.
It's been run by the same family since Caradolin was established, the Linden family.
Von Linden.
It's been run by the same family. I think the Lindens. I had no contact with them ever, to my knowledge.
And Sumer, what does that mean?
But that's all I've got.
Because if it's Sumer Linden,
Sean,
what's
how's
the
my old Axlandish?
prefix?
Which
Which I guess is just old Sphiggle.
I mean, it literally means summer.
Summer of
Okay,
Linden,
Sumer.
or just
Yeah.
Summer Linden?
No, like you're right, Kiran, that it means summer of Linden.
Yeah. Was it their summer house?
Kind of.
They came out from Sverwald and they're like, this is a nice place.
They were very much
warmer
so.
than Sverwald.
The Linden family was very much this rich family that financed Uthern's exploration into the eastern portions of the Quintarchy Valley. And after he was like, "Fuck this settlement, I'm building a better one in Caradolin," they were like, "We'll take it." And it's also the stream that runs through it is called the Sumer Brook. But anyway, none of you.
Don't
know
you just
that.
love us, Sean? Make you explain all this bullshit?
Hey, he's
I-
got the info for it.
You start to head back on the road. You're recovering from this assault. You've gathered some of the pieces of these zombie structures, and you are heading eastward. You're only about 2 hours from Summerlinden, and I think this is where we'll take our break. All right, folks. So we will be back in about 5 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. So stick around with us, and we will continue on with the adventures at 9:50. See you all soon.